I'm with you, man.
Oh, I'm just waiting for you to finish playing with yourself. Nah. Okay, so Bob,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess you said love or practicality. I just want to get in. I'm gonna get in. You know how I like to do. I like to get in and then get out. I don't like to, screw around and everything. I like to get in and get out.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
so I don't know where to start, so I'm just gonna start.
Go ahead.
I first of all, I I heard one of your lives. That's why this is existing, because I heard like one of the end of your lives.
Yep.
And I've heard, like, remember, I remember you sent me another one of your things, and I heard, and I was like, you was a little bit aggressive right there. We didn't ever get to the part, but I said that you was a little bit aggressive.
A little aggressive, yeah.
And your rhetoric that you were speaking.
Yeah, sure.
So where I'm at is so this whole thing that's being spoken is kind of like a movement.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not all the way involved in the movement, of course, but I've been who I was for about 15 years. That's who I've been pretty solid for about 15 years now. I've been pretty solid. The critique that I have for you is that the critique that I have for anything else. Mm-hmm. As I said, it seems as the focus is on bad women or women that are bad. Mm-hmm. And in my mind, as we had a small conversation about, my mind goes to, well, whatever you focus on, then that's what you'll end up getting, or that's what you'll end up being surrounded with, is the things that you focus on. So in my mind, I never want to focus on anything that's negative or anything that's bad. And in this case, with women that are bad, I don't want to ever keep the focus on that, because I'm just like, I want to, as I said before, a lot of the things that I've read, a lot of my readings has taught me to focus on the thing that you want, and that the brain doesn't comprehend negatives. Now, what do I mean by the brain doesn't comprehend negatives? What I mean is that I like people on the balance beam, the Olympics, when they on the balance beam, they don't say don't fall, mm-hmm. because the brain wouldn't comprehend the don't. All it hears is fall. It wouldn't comprehend don't. At the free throw line, if you a guy at the free throw line, you shouldn't say don't miss, because all the brain would do is comprehend miss. All it does is comprehend the negative. And as race car drivers drive, they're taught not to focus on the wall. Even though you don't want to hit the wall, they're taught not to focus on the wall, because if you focus, whatever you're focused on, then that's what you're going to hit. So they just focus on driving. Even though nobody wants to hit the wall, nobody's focusing on the wall. So in my mind, I'm like, well, all this focus on bad women and negative relationships and this bad stuff is only going to beget more bad stuff, and that the focus should be on the good. Now, granted, you can't control what is and what isn't and what's going on but I can control what I focus on. So if I decide that I want to just focus on the good, I don't want to focus on all this negative stuff and how women do this and guys do that, and we supposed to do this. And, to me, I'm just like, well, I don't want to focus on that, because that's negative. And I live my regular life saying, I don't want to focus on anything that's negative. I only want to focus on positive things. And I feel like if you keep on with the same rhetoric, then that's what you'll get, because that's what you're focusing on. That's what I believe. And that's why, that's why I don't stamp every time I approval on all the rhetoric. Now, with all of that being said, the stuff, I'm not saying that the stuff that you're saying is wrong. I'm just saying I wouldn't focus on that stuff.
As long as we acknowledging that.
I mean, no. But this is go ahead.
This is what I would say to that.
Okay.
It would be different if we, because I think I text you. I don't think we agree on what the problem is, and since I know we don't agree on what the problem is, a lot of times because people don't really understand what the problem is, they're thinking it's a matter of a conversation or it's a communication problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I disagree completely. I think that by the time you are getting to a woman at even 22, 23, the thing that is the problem has already been in operation in its culture. So that a lot of what the negativity is, it's so around us to the point where there's no real way to escape that part unless you identify it and all the symptoms associated with it. Because a lot of people aren't, like when I said, and I'm sure we'll get to the part where I was just like, you just need to leave that kind of stuff alone. You know what I mean? When I'm saying that, I'm saying it because it's just that serious. And I don't think that a lot of people understand how serious it is until you hear some of these ridiculous stats that we're living, like we can see it with our eyes, but we kind of don't recognize it as that bad. It's like having a gangrene or a leprous arm and saying, you know what, I just need to put a Band-Aid on it, or I just need to put a brace on it and then it'll be okay. It's like, no, you have to cut off your arm.
But that's what you're comparing it to. That's what you're calling it. You're calling it gangrene arm. That's what you call it. But that was just your analogy. Because if I want to call it a broke humerus, I broke my humerus bone, which I've had before.
Yeah.
Now it hurt like heck. It hurt like heck. It took me 8 months to recover. It's the second biggest bone in your body next to your femur. So yeah, it took me a while to recover from breaking my humerus. But if I want to compare it to that, to say if I do the work, I don't have to chop off my arm. Your analogy is gangrene. My analogy is, well, it's a broken bone and it's going to take a long time to heal as long as I put in the work.
Well, this is the thing. The thing is that you can compare it to that, but I don't think that you will. I don't think you're dumb.
Okay.
So
yeah, you don't have to say that.
Right,
I already know you don't think I'm dumb.
Right.
No.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying when I say culture.
Okay.
Like, for example, if a woman is conditioned to believe that Black male leadership or just male leadership in total is oppressive, you can't then come to her at 22 or 35 or anywhere in between and convince her that that's not true.
Say what you think is true. If they think
if they think that male leadership is oppressive, like
meaning
if you the leader, then that means you just want to tell me what to do. If they believe, and I'm granted that, I'm not saying that they're saying that, but if a woman believes that, by the time you get to her, if she already believes that, you can't condition her out of that or communicate your way out of that. And there are a lot of things that you can't really communicate yourself out of that go so far to where you're in court and you're fighting for your kids, or you're in court and you're trying to get, just a amicable divorce. You know what I mean? Like, it's to the point where we've had the same kind of problems for a very long time, and it's been festering to where it's the only thing that's going on. And I don't think enough people understand how ridiculous it is. Like you're saying, it's a broken bone. Well, that heals eventually if you leave it to be, because your body just heals like that.
Correct.
I'm saying gangrene because some of this stuff is to the point where you have to cut it off because there's no way to grow from it. There's no way to grow from it.
I guess that's another point that I'm lost in. So I get it. Cut it off. Right. That's I mean, and like I said, you're coming from a place of statistics. You coming from a place of love when it comes to me. It's not only statistics. You want me to do good in life. Like you actually, it's a
I'm invested.
It's me. But what I think that I've been saying is that as this thing say, love or practicality, I feel like, well, the part of this equation of just leave that's missing is that the human side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a human side of it. It's, well, I mean, I know what you're saying, but I actually love this person. It's been it goes both ways. Obviously, if a woman is being abused, she should leave.
Right.
That's what I think.
Yep.
That's what you think. That's what probably most of her friends would tell her.
Yep.
But what's not being equated into it's just a human thing. It's just being human, is that, well, she loves the guy. Well, that shouldn't matter, but it does matter. And if you don't speak to all of the equation, then you're going to lose her in telling her, how you feel and what she should do. And I feel like on this side of things, yes, some stuff is you look at it and it's logical.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she lied to you a million times, so leave her. Yeah. Well, she obviously but my thing is that, well, if it was black and white, if it wasn't no human value in that, I understand that. Mm-hmm. But you got to add the humanness of like, well, what if you love? What if it's love there? I mean, it's different. I'm just saying it's different. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not different for, a friend or somebody on the street that may say something to me and I'll be like, I don't got to deal with you no more.
Right.
It's nothing invested. But I feel like where you lose me, and like I always tell you, I'm more regular probably than, I'm just a regular person.
So you are the audience that I'm speaking to. That's
well, I'm the audience that you speaking to. That's not of your audience.
Yeah. That's what
I'm the audience that you speaking to. Like, I'm not into all of that stuff.
This is my issue with that. And I just read what she put up there, where your energy goes.
Well, that's just what I was saying.
That she summed it up.
Yeah.
My problem with what you're saying is this saying right here. It's just that simple. It's always just that simple when you're talking about things that I think you feel like you excel at. And I'm not saying that you don't excel at it. I'm just like things that you internally know, like I excel at this thing. You know what I mean? Like with working out or anything like that. Like it's like I've obviously seen your videos because they're my videos. They're on the channel that has my name on it. Okay. But it's like you will have things where you will say stuff like, the reason you don't look like this is because you ain't working as hard. Or
okay, that's aggressive. I said that. Okay, I don't know.
Who does this sound like?
Oh, okay. I didn't know. That's what I say again.
If you don't look like this, is you ain't working as hard.
That's probably
get off your stinking ass. Get off your fucking ass. Get off it.
Okay. I might have said something like that. You paraphrasing, but I might have said something like that. Yeah, you're paraphrasing.
Okay, so but I think you, because and not look, I'm not good at this stuff either.
Just go. You ain't got to.
I'm not good at like, I'm not like the guru of relationships either. I'm not even talking about that though. That's not what I'm talking about.
It's an alert, Michael. You're not the guru of relationships.
Nobody is. Nobody's saying that. But this is what I'm saying. It seems as though you would be really, really practical about working out, or this saying here, whereas it's like, where
your attention goes, your energy flows. Yes.
You're very practical about that, but you're not practical about leaving. And working out or losing weight is emotional. That's why a lot of people, like everybody most people in the US are overweight. Correct. For example, most people emotionally eat. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of people walking around with abs. But if you can excel at that and you can understand it from a practical standpoint, then people can understand the leave part from a practical standpoint, and especially they can understand the working out from a practical standpoint if it was life or death. Like if it's life or death, and they say, look, if you eat another slice of pizza, you gonna die.
So, can I rebut that? Can I rebuttal that?
You got it.
I'm just saying, it's just me though. You just talking about me. That's what you're talking about.
I'm talking about your understanding
of working out.
No. I'm talking about you understand that if you don't want to work out, and you want, if a dude came to you with Hennessy and chicken and was eating his chicken and washing it down with Hennessy, and he said, man,
great night, by the way. He's gonna have a great night, but go ahead.
I want abs. What's up, man? I know you the workout man. And then you said, well, first thing you gotta do, you gotta stop with the Hennessy and the chicken. And he couldn't do it. Like, how would you help him?
I answer that.
Yes.
Well, I would say, like, first of all, we got to get rid of the Hennessy and chicken. But if that's a problem, then now I need to know, well, why are you eating this chicken and drinking this Hennessy? Like, why are you doing that? Like, it turns into, I can't just simplify it. I can't just, if I tell him don't do that, and he says, well, I can't not do that, or I can see that that's not going to happen. Well, now it's not as simple anymore. I need to know, why are you drinking this Hennessy and why are you eating this chicken? So that brings me to the emotional side. That brings me to the human side. Well, I'm eating this chicken because I don't think I can afford nothing else and it's the cheapest. Or I'm drinking because my mama just passed away and I can't sleep at night, so I'm drinking a lot. So now I'm understanding, well, I can't do anything for you until we handle this first, this real life emotion that we have to handle first before I could say, or kick the chicken and kick the Hennessy out your hand. I have to handle this real life emotion. We can't do any working out until you understand that it's affordable, good food, and you make it right as far as the emotional stress that you're dealing with, as far as your mom passing away. I can't help you, but I have to acknowledge that real emotions exist. I can't say, well, if you don't want to do that, get it. You don't want to lose no weight. Get away from me.
And I'm not saying that you would say that. I'm saying, doesn't it? I'll do this for you. I do this for you. Probably most people know how to lose weight.
Everybody does.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
My issue with what you're saying is that I'm sure that there's an emotional side of it, but then there are just some people who will never do it. So there has to be a contingency of people that are not going to do what I'm saying, which is leave. I accept that.
I know, but my thing is that it's just this. One, well, focus on some of the humanness of you telling somebody that. And two, I mean, if you want your message to hit on a broader scale, you have to focus on humans.
I'm not focused on humans. And this is the thing. I think that the majority of people, you know what I'm saying? Like if you say, if we're looking at a car, and the car, I say it's the engine and you say it's the transmission, and we like, okay, cool. Well, let's fix the car. We can't fix the car until we diagnose the problem, because you think it's something and I think it's something. How are we going to fix the car? Most people don't even know what the problem is to even say I'm going to leave or I'm going to bounce, because a lot of this stuff has been normalized. A lot of this stuff is, well, this is just the way they are. You know, and I don't even say it like, I don't even like making it a black, I would like to call it culture X. Culture X. Like, whereas it's like all of this stuff that exists, because there are more than just black people that identify with, you know, the nonsense. You know what I mean? But it's like Western culture is telling, you know, women for the most part they're equal to men, of which, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, it is what it is. What up though, Robert? Happy birthday. And then you get American culture that kind of tells women that they're better than men. And then you get X culture, which tells women that they're not only better, but they don't need the men. And it's like, if people don't understand that that is in direct conflict with, biology and just the way that humans have been socialized, or not even the way that we've been socialized, just the way that we are, like men obviously have to be in the front in order to protect. You know what I mean? If people aren't recognizing the contradiction or recognizing that that's a cultural problem, then telling them, like saying, hey man, your arm is your arm is this, or your arm is that, or this is actually not this is an electrical problem. It ain't what you said, it ain't what he said, it's an electrical problem. Like identifying the problem needs to happen, or else what are you fixing? Because I don't think anybody has even identified the problem. That's what I think me and you disagree on. You're saying focus on the good ones. Well, you don't even know what the good ones are, because you sent me a couple of things, or at least said it here, where it's just like, we need to communicate like this or like that, or even the book you were writing, how to win an argument with a woman. But it's like, it's a communication thing to you. No, it's something that happens way before you get to even communicating with her, and people are not identifying that that's what it is. They're just saying, they're giving you the love language book. It would be.
I know.
Go ahead,
but yeah. So but I guess I haven't heard anything to make me, as a human that feels and that has emotion, to just say, well, it's just this simple. And like I said, if your thing is just this simple, then
I'm not even saying, this is another thing too. You're saying I'm saying it's just that simple.
The reason that I say that is because is when everything comes up, and like you said before, you said, well, it's in the way that you asked the question, to whereas I just think, well, like, it's just this. And what I'm saying is that that's where we kind of miss each other, because I'm just like, it's too much other stuff. It's too much humanness or love in it for you to be so practical and say, just do this. And it's not, you can't, listen to this.
Go ahead.
I'm not 100%. I got stuff that's wrong with me.
Of course.
I will, and this is just how I think. Now, it's probably wrong or right or whatever. It's whatever. It's just my opinion, so it's not either. But
it's probably wrong.
It's probably wrong in your eyes. Yeah.
Play.
But I just feel like, well, since I want somebody to treat me, I want to treat somebody the same way I want to be treated. So knowing that I have flaws, knowing that I'm not 100% in the stuff that I need to work on, I want to give somebody the benefit of the doubt to work on their flaws, to be better. Now, you're telling me, well, that's bull, because if they was thinking like that at 22, 23, you ain't gonna never get it changed.
No,
hold
on. That, for one, that's actually not what I'm saying.
Okay, so let me finish. That's not what you said. I appreciate you saying that. So let's scratch that from the record. So what I'm saying is that I want to get the benefit of the doubt, just as I'm given the benefit of the doubt. So, have I been wrong? Yes, I have been wrong. But in my mind, I'm willing to be wrong however many times I have to be wrong, just so I could be right one time.
Okay.
But that's just because of, you told me 5 years ago that I was in the clouds. When our first show, when I said something that I wanted, you said, you ain't gonna never get that. You asking for too much. And I get it.
I don't know what it was.
Well, yeah, you said that. You said that the day when you said you shooting too high. Okay. And but I this is who I am. I'm this type of guy. I shoot high on everything I do. I shoot to the moon and everything I do. So with that being said, I don't disagree with you.
Right.
But that's not going to change me from trying to get what it is that I want. And if that means that I have to be wrong, like I said 100 times, and be vulnerable 100 times and be broken 100 times, that sounds hurt. That sounds hard. It sounds, but I'll do that to be right one time.
Yeah, well, this is the problem that I have with that, and this is why I'm saying that what I'm saying is not about somebody acting a certain way. Acting a certain way is something totally different than being cultured
Okay.
a certain
Okay.
way. So if women are being the women that you're trying to, to whatever, if they're cultured a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
giving them a chance won't change them because they fundamentally believe the thing that is the problem. They believe in it. You know what I'm saying? If they believe in it, then you have to leave that alone because they're not going to change it. That's just the way they
So
are.
that's
It's
what
just
I'm
it's
saying.
like if you're dealing with
So what's the, I need to know, how are you deciphering from someone needs time to be better and they're cultured like this? How are you deciphering the two? How can you do that?
That's a really good question.
Is it? Are you just trying to butter me up?
No. That's actually a really good question.
Okay.
And those are the kind of questions that if you asked, I would probably answer a lot of the stuff differently.
Oh, I'm just asking because I want to know.
But the way that you know
Mhm.
is it is by their actions, but
Mhm.
you can kind of ask questions. You just kind of gauge, like for example, a thing that I do is I always, if a woman has kids,
Mhm.
I always wonder, well, how is her relationship with her kid's father?
Mhm.
And if your relationship with your kid's father is rocky, I can assume that you're not lying and that he's the worst person in the world. But if I'm to assume that, I'm also to assume that you picked him and he's a horrible person, or he's not as bad and you're lying. You know what I
Either
mean?
way is bad.
Either way is bad. But your relationship with, because see, like my relationship, you know my relationship, you know what I'm saying, with, but my relationship, if somebody asks me, well, what's your relationship with your kid's mom? I would say it's okay because I don't really, there's nothing on my side. I don't do anything. Yeah, it's cool. I don't really be around it like that. And we co-parent. That's it. That's what I would have. And then as a woman dated me, she would see that. She would see exactly that because there's nothing on my side to where there can't be anything on the other side. That's my ex-wife, and we co-parent. But for me, if a woman is doing a thing whereas she can't stand this nigga, that's a cultural thing. Whereas they think fundamentally that baby mama and baby daddy are just natural enemies, like cats and mouses.
That's what I'm saying, though. But
Oh, what up, though, Sir Anthony?
what if he is an asshole? What if it's what? But your thing is that if he is, then you picked him.
Yes. And hold up, and that speaks to me, that speaks to how she's cultured. Because again, I have to believe that you chose him, had kids with them, and was with them long enough to have had that situation play itself out. Now, I'm not saying now you're a horrible person. Some people actually mean well in culture X. They actually mean well, but they don't get right because they're cultured to understand that this is the way you do it. This is the way you do it, which is why they continually make the same mistakes over and over again. And for me, although you may mean well,
that's not enough.
That's not enough.
So even though when you're asked about whatever, you say, well, it's obviously the relationship didn't work out
right
in the past. But I mean, it didn't work out probably because of, if you left the situation, it didn't work out because of who you picked too.
I agree.
So should someone then say to you, well, you picked her?
It depends. No. Yes, they should. They exactly should.
All right.
They should do that if my testimony, if you will,
is that she's horrible.
Exactly.
But I mean, that's my your testimony, because of who you are,
right?
Your testimony is not going to be that, because you have accountability. You are very respectful, and you understand that you have to still exist inside of the situation until further notice. So knowing that about you,
then I'll go to this. Don't you think that all of those things, if existed in a person independent of you, wouldn't that ultimately make the relationship that they were in, even if it ended, you know, even if it ended on bad terms, wouldn't that ultimately make the relationship with their kid's father a lot better? Because you said those things, and that's why I do them. I do them because of what ultimately the situation is.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make that relationship a lot better?
But I'm different in the way of this. If somebody in passing says something about the children's mom, then I mean, I'm just like, you know, like she. I mean, I go with the truth. What? No, I go with the truth. No, I go with the truth. No, I go, and she knows this. Everybody knows this. I go with the truth. Like, she's a good mom. She really, you know, good with children. They freaking academically are excelling. It's not because of me. I can straight up tell you, it's not because of me that they excel in school. Now, is it all her? I don't know, but it's not because of me. So I feel like, you know, and which is a big thing for me. A big thing for me is that, well, the actual smarts. Like I didn't, you know, that's one of the things. Right. I don't pick somebody because they're athletic or because they're I don't know what's the rich or because they're whatever.
This might have been 6'9".
Yeah, because of you know, but I'm like, oh, I'm trying to, you know, this like the slavery times where they manufactured
clearly
where they said take this big person and take this big person and put them together so you can have a big person. That's not I
didn't pick because of that either.
Yeah, that's ludicrous. But I did say, well, this is a smart person. So, you know, but like I said, if a stranger asked me, I would be surface. Like, nah, good. But if you ask me, or if somebody that I've been with for a while asks me, I'm gonna tell them like, no, it was
some stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell them like it is. I'm gonna be like, this is what it is. Now, if that makes them say that I ain't nothing, or I ain't nothing for choosing that person, or whatever the stuff that you said, then I'm just like, I get it, but I'm gonna tell the truth either way it goes, and I don't think that makes me nothing.
That's the thing, and what you're doing, and that's good that you're saying that. I'm saying divorce yourself from culture X, from that culture, the culture that breeds the thing that has niggas in court, you know what I'm saying, fighting for their kids, because that's why I don't believe, like, it's crazy. Like, this is how deep the culture aspect is. It's so deep to where I think everybody understands that kids need two parents. Like, pretty much understand. You know what I mean? But yet and still, and I don't want to number you to death, 70% of our kids are out of wedlock. And when we go to court, even as a husband, you're still more than likely losing that custody hearing about 85, you know what I'm saying, percent of the time. It's like everybody knows this, but the culture's so thick on doing what it does that we still are losing custody hearings like it ain't and single fathers fare better as single parents than single moms. It's still the way that it is. That's how
time out.
Go ahead.
Couple things.
Go ahead.
First, to say that single fathers fare off better than single mothers.
Better outcomes for the kids.
Okay, to say that.
Okay.
It's difficult to say because there's way more single mothers than it is single fathers.
I agree.
So that's a little much to say that because it's a lot of them and it's only 10 of us. But that's a lot to say, and I wouldn't say that children fare better with their father than they do with their mother because it's it's more single moms than it is single dads.
I do this for you. They fare better when their father is prominently in their life. Can I do that? So that for example, depression, doing bad in school, doing drugs, graduating school, even, you know what I'm saying, being a productive citizen overall, you are the actual cure or solution to that.
Okay, so with that being said,
and on average,
blah blah blah. With that being said, you left.
This is another thing. This is coach. This is again. This is culture. This is culture.
Let me.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So knowing that you extracted yourself from the situation, which puts your number higher for your children to be all of the stuff that you just said. Why would you do that?
This is the mindset. The mindset is, and you didn't say it, but it felt like you said it. It felt like you said that I left my kid, I left my family.
No. I'm saying that if you're saying that you fare better there and you know the numbers, why would you leave?
Why wouldn't I take my kids with me?
Well, because you can't. You gotta. The law is at least 50-50. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, I agree.
I'm just saying. You. Once you leave,
there's probably and maybe I should look it up. I know that in Michigan though, if you have kids out of wedlock, they default to the mom. You gotta actually go to court. That I know, but I don't think there's any law on the books that says that it has to be 50-50 necessarily. No,
they call it I forgot what they called it. It's been a long time since I've been to court.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna knock on wood. Hopefully, I don't go back to court. And but I feel like
the second one.
but that's what I'm saying. But with that being, even if he was pushed away, Sir Anthony, even if he was pushed away, my thing is that as the man, as the leader, as the whatever you are, it's your job to make things work, as it's your job to do everything else. So it's your job to say, well, if this is going to be the case, if I know the numbers, if I know this, if I know how I'm be treated in Michigan court, well, then I need to do what I need to do to make this work for this situation, because I, in turn, chose this situation.
That's crazy, man. Like that's like, and you're not doing it purposely because whatever. That's the most gaslighty nonsense. Like that almost it don't piss me off with you because I'm not mad at you, but that pisses me off.
We can fight.
Fuck the wicks. But it pisses me off that the leadership part. Like, does culture X, and you know what I'm describing, I'm trying not to be like, it's black culture, because anybody don't identify with it. But does culture X really promote male leadership like that? Do you think that it promotes male leadership? Like, not necessarily saying like, because power, control, all of those things are taken, they're not given. I get it. But do you think that this is a society that promotes that, given the way that you're going to be treated in the court with regards to your family?
No.
So if it's not that way, then what are you talking about with regards to leadership when she has all the leverage? Because this is where the emotion thing goes away. When 80% of the divorces are filed by them, why aren't they emotional too? Don't they have feelings? Why are they filing most of the divorces then? It's because of leverage. It's because they actually, it's just like when you playing against anybody and you got the advantage. You don't give up your advantage because it's cute. And especially when the kids in your life is on the line, you don't give them the advantage. You're like, oh, well, I'll take a little bit away of my advantage, unless you're cultured to do so. That doesn't happen to the tune of 85-90%. So I have to believe that they're not pushing for me to be a leader. They're not pushing for me to be prominently in my kid's life. I got to go to court. That's not, and what you're saying is this supposed to be the leadership, which pisses me off. It's like, it's supposed to be where? Here? Where they don't let you do that? Where they don't, when she can say you did something or didn't do something and then take your kids away from you? Sir, that's not, that we got to be fair. And that's where it's like, I'm against those communication books, because you're saying culture is not even a thing. You're not even acknowledging culture, and that's fine. But what happens is it's a book about swimming, right? And she's on the other side. And if you're a man, you'll get to the other side. She gives you a book and it's about swimming, leaving out the fact that there's tigers, bears, and sharks and alligators in the water. You get the book, you read the book, you're like, I can fucking swim, but I read the book. It says everything about freestyles, fucking backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, breathing.
I see where you're going.
It says everything about all of that.
Okay.
And then you say, well, where's the alligator chapter at? And nobody acknowledges the alligator chapter or the chapter about bears or the chapter about porcupines or whatever's in the water. They're not talking about the thing that keeps me from the leadership. They're not talking about that. Those books don't talk about it. None of these other platforms talk about it. They leave out culture. They leave out the way that people are cultured, specifically the community that identifies with culture X. When you identify with that, it doesn't promote any of this stuff. And then you're saying, well, you're just supposed to man up and man through it. I reject it. I want it all to burn and I'm gonna leave it alone. And that's what I'm saying.
And I know that's what you're saying. And what I'm saying is that I guess I'm not saying that you're wrong in saying that it's not alligator chapter, it's not a lion chapter. I'm not saying that you're wrong when you say that. But I guess what I am saying is that with feelings involved, I care enough to figure out how to get around the alligators. Well, I think, and I'm just telling you who I am. And I think that I can figure out how to get around the alligators and how to get around the line.
That's ego, that's arrogance, and I reject it. That's ego, that's arrogance, and I reject it.
But like I said, and you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
So then this is my problem. My problem is that why if you can understand that that's probably not going to be a good deal. Hold on.
I didn't say that.
No. This is what I'm saying. If a woman has lied to you 57 times, you cannot convince her to not lie to you the 58th time. You understand that?
I do understand that. So can I say something to that?
Go.
I'm just saying I don't want 1,000 things to happen and don't know. Yeah, I can say that I can't convince somebody after lying 57 times not to lie the 58th time.
Okay.
That is true. What I can say is that somebody on their own, by the way it's affecting me, can do something different the 58th time. I can't convince anybody to do anything. Mm-hmm. But what I can say is that, look, I understand you have a problem. I want to be here. Let's figure it out. I feel like shit. I don't want to feel like this no more. Do you want to continue to make me feel like shit? I can't. Now that all I can do is just say something. It's how I feel. Now that, let me say this. That leaves me open. It leaves me vulnerable. It leaves that face with you. So I get it. Right. I get it. But I'm not trying to say I can convince anybody. What I can say is that I can tell somebody how I really feel and how it hurts me. And if they care enough, they can correct the behavior. If they don't, then obviously.
And this is the thing, you gave the example. This is what's so crazy. You gave the example about not worrying about the wall. You know what I'm saying? You gave the example of being on the balance beam. You gave all those examples. You know the difference between those things and what you just did? It involves a whole nother person. It's like don't worry about the person grabbing your leg off the fucking balance beam. Don't worry about the person who's in the car punching you while you're driving. Mm-hmm. That's how that sounds when you say don't worry about the negative thing, when you're in the thing with the person who's doing the negative thing. Mm-hmm. So again, if you can logically say, because you know that arrogance is bad, confidence is good, but arrogance is bad. If you can understand that arrogance is bad and ego to a certain extent can be bad if over, indulged. If you can understand that and you can understand that that's ego and arrogance, then why would you indulge in that? And why is me saying that to you like one of those things where it's just like, but it's emotion involved? No, man, that's ego. That's the thing that I be saying. I be saying that dudes attach their manhood to their ability to deal with these disruptive, deceitful, dishonest chicks. And then you say, I don't feel that way. Well, you just admitted that you did. You just admitted that you did. And that's my problem. That's the culture. You're cultured to think that. You're cultured to think that if you say, well, she did this and I'm a man, so you're supposed to be able to figure it out.
Listen, not that I'm a man and I should be able to figure it out. I'm just human. My man, not that I'm a man and I should be able to figure it out. I'm human.
You may have hold on. Well, you may have had a Freudian slip, or you may have said it by mistake, but you said that just maybe 10 minutes ago.
Oh, that the man should be able to figure it out.
Yes,
I said that to you when I was talking about your whatchamacallit.
So I got to be a man.
No. Yeah, I did say that to you. No. You're absolutely right. I did say that to you. Okay. But what I'm saying is that what you say is so practical. It just alleviates the human side of things. And like I said, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, if I can say that you're right in what you're saying, because I can see it happening too, I want you to say, well, it is a human side of things that makes things not as simple as I'm trying to make them.
I would never want to hurt. All right, thanks, man. I appreciate you, Sir Anthony. I would never want to, hurt a woman in any way physically.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, what are you talking about?
But if she came at me with a knife, I have to knock her out. I'm saying that the thing that you don't want to do, the human side, it's that urgent.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's that you keep doing it. Now it's a knife. Now it was gangrene before. You but keep your because culture is a virus. That's what culture is. I know but
because you don't, and that's the thing. You don't think it's that serious. That's what you're saying to me.
I'm saying your analogies is gangrene and coming at you with a knife.
Because you don't think it's that serious. And I'm telling you, it absolutely is, because what this culture has done, what Culture X has done, is that it's bred things that aren't human. They're not even, it doesn't facilitate nuclear families, which is the cornerstone of any community. Any group of people have to be in nuclear families, but this culture that we identify with does not promote, facilitate, or endorse nuclear families on no level. You can't tell me it does. Now, there may be pockets where it does, and I commend those people. When I see, like every now and again, we go over our uncle's house, and it's a couple of people there that I know are, I can see that they're happily married, and it looks good, and they got a kid or two or whatever. It's just like, no, that's good. That looks like what it should be. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, you don't see that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not pushed or promoted. And what they're doing is, and look, I have speculation on what it is or the reason, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The more that women are single, the more money they spend. The more
it's a conspiracy.
Not even a conspiracy. It's not
meaning that if we keep the women single, we keep the money flowing, and they keep spending money. They in the debt. Like that's the
what. Well, it's more intentional than not, is what I'm saying. Because conspiracy, that would speak to it. Us not knowing.
Okay,
I think we kind of know. You know what I'm saying? I think we kind of know. But like what I'm saying is that, and it's not. I don't even think it's even personal. I don't even think it's racism. I think it's just capitalism. It's just like, well, we're gonna attach ourselves to.
Yeah.
So this is my thing. This thing does not promote the thing you say you want. It doesn't.
What is the thing I say I want?
You don't. I mean, I would imagine that you're talking about a committed relationship, not just getting some coochie.
Of course.
So the thing that you want,
committed relationship.
Mm-hmm. This thing doesn't promote that. And to the extent that when we were married, because we were married around the same time, it doesn't even promote nuclear families. It doesn't promote it. It just doesn't. You'll have it. For the time being, the average marriage, Black community lasts about 5 years. You'll have it, but then you won't, because it doesn't push that. But you're saying, man, I'm just going to try to figure it out. But you haven't identified the problem, which is coming before you ever get to her. Because we're not dating 22-year-olds.
Yeah, but you said, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not with, and you, like you said, maybe it's ego.
Yeah.
But I'm not with, I love somebody and they love me and we can't fix the problem. I'm not with that. But I understand how, I say that today, where I stand today, because I'm a different person today than I was 5 years ago, than I was 10 years ago. I have a lot more knowledge than I did 10 years ago today. And I'm better physically, I'm better mentally, I'm better spiritually. I'm better financially. I'm just better person. So with that being said, is it ego? If that's what you want to call it, and you could call it ego. I call it. I call it. I want to give somebody a shot like I want to be given a shot. That's what I call it. Yeah. And because I'm not all the way, perfect. And I don't expect nobody to be perfect.
But that's the thing. You would think I'm asking for perfection. I'm not. That's kind of not. That's kind of perfection ain't the point.
Okay.
Perfection is certainly not the point.
Okay.
The problem I always have is that we're talking about fundamental things that give women the cover that they say they want. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, a fundamental thing, which is male leadership. That's a fundamental thing that really allows women to have the cover that they want and they need in order to facilitate a safe space for them. We're having conversations about male leadership, whereas women don't want nobody to tell them nothing.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't want to have that conversation.
Okay. So you don't want to have that conversation.
No.
I'm going to ask you this question. You ain't got to answer it if you don't want to.
Okay.
In every relationship that you've been in, has that been an issue?
It has been an issue.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. And I think you are an unreasonable person.
Unreasonable person?
I don't think you're unreasonable.
Oh.
I don't deem you to be, I mean, you can get wild sometimes, but I don't deem you to be unreasonable in the sense of asking for your, mate to be reasonable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, you wilding. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the thing is that we'll always have that same issue if they fundamentally believe that male leadership is oppressive. We'll always have that problem. We'll always have that. And you're trying to work it now, a way to understand that a woman, like, I got another thing that I usually do. What's your relationship with your father? Like meeting a woman's father. Mm-hmm. Meeting a woman's father, I actually enjoy meeting women's fathers. You know what I'm saying? To kind of see how they interact with their fathers, kind of see what's going on there. Do they like their dad? Do they have a good relationship? If their dad is saying, hey, baby girl, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Does she do it? Does she not? Those are really good gauges for me to see how she deals with male leadership because her dad is her first leader. That's the first man in her life.
Correct.
Me understanding that, it's like, oh man, like she cool. To me, at least. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of thing that I look for, but that's not perfection. You and your dad ain't got to be, so good that he got his own primetime TV show. You just have to be a decent dude, and then you come from a decent dude, and you're listening to a decent dude. That to me is like, hey, and now if she has that situation and she's still defiant, well then, it is what it is, back to the drawing board. But that's another gauge on if she thinks black male or male leadership, just period, is oppressive, or does she understand it as this is a part of the protection? This is a part of the provisions. This is just a part of it. You know what I mean? And to me, the reason that we would have that problem, because I've had the same problem too, the reason that we would have that problem is because we're picking from the same pool and not acknowledging that it's the same pool with the tigers and the lions and the alligators and the sharks in it. We're picking from the same pool. We got to stop doing that. And you're saying, well, I'll just go. Don't let me put words in your mouth.
No. Go ahead. I won't let you.
what you're saying is that you'll deal with it until you get to the other side. And there is no get to the other side. There is
There's no way to get through the thing with the alligators and the lions in.
It's alligators.
and I'm ego driven if I think I can swim faster and through the water with alligators and sharks in it.
Right. It's like thinking, that's what I'm saying.
I
think you can hoop. I think you can hoop. But if they put a fucking lid over the hoop, you're not going to make a shot.
But listen.
My jump shot is that nice, though.
Listen. But like I said, that is your analogy. Your analogy is alligators and sharks and lions. My analogy is more of, maybe the current is a little rough.
Like, man, it's mad rough here.
Man, maybe the current is a little rough. That's my analogy is, and you can call it what you want to call it, which is not, I definitely, I'll take it as you give it to me, as you doggone shoot me up. I take it. I take all that. I take all that. But I would like to think that the current is a little rough. And I would like to think that I just have to become a stronger swimmer to get to the other side. And if that's wrong, if it's being egotistical, if it's being overconfident, I will give you that. I will give you that. But that's how that's how much that's what my that's who I am as far as on the love side. On the love side, I'm like, I can learn how to swim better.
You think that love is supposed to be as difficult as you're describing it?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't know,
dude. And this is
I don't know.
And this is another thing. We're brothers. Obviously, I love you. You love me. There are things that a woman can do to you that you would not allow me to do. And I'm saying, let's the other stuff. But let's say things that I could do to you that she could do to you that you wouldn't let me get away with. And I'm your brother. And this person's supposed to be with you for the rest of your life. And we fight. But you let her get away with it, whoever she is, and try to get to the other side of it. And I probably love you more than this new person. And you'll fight me. You don't see that as ridiculous? That I like for example, somebody was asking me a question. People do this all the time where they ask me a question about your business. I had one time where I said something about your business and you was like, nigga, I wasn't gonna fuck with you no more. And I agreed, and I was like, okay, I'll never do that again. I just had a situation where somebody said something about your business. I was like, look, I don't know nothing about that. So just why don't you just, you know what I mean? But because I appreciate, our relationship, not just as brothers, but you my guy. But I would correct that immediately to where that doesn't happen. Do you think that women are just going to do that for you? They should, though. They should absolutely do that because we got to fight. But you'll still be with her. That's a problem.
Okay, stop.
Go ahead.
So
it's alligators.
No, they just said this whoever this person is trying to be funny and they're not that funny. So yes, it happened to whereas something happened, you told my business, I wasn't messing with you no more. And that went on for a couple days or maybe a week. I can't remember. It
was a week.
Okay, I can't remember, but it ended up being mended. Do I hold you to a higher standard that I would hold somebody else to? I hold you to a higher standard because you know better or supposed to know better. So is it right or is it wrong? I ain't on that. I could be wrong, but I'm telling you why. Because if my daughter did something that I didn't think she would do, I wouldn't react the same way as if you done it. Now, would I be the same amount of pissed? Yes, probably. But her discipline would be different from your discipline. Now, I'm not comparing a mate to a daughter. What I'm comparing it to is that you have 40 years in and somebody has less time. That's what I'm comparing. I'm comparing the time. I'm not comparing. So if somebody does something to me that knew me for 2 years, then I'm less to get like that. And I mean, maybe it should be the other way around. But I'm just telling you that I'm like you talk to me some of the time. You like, well, I could say this to you because I know you're not going. I don't think you stupid. And I'm just like, you could chill with that because I already know you don't think that. We already there. So you can say what you got to say without the prequel, without the, let me just say this first.
But you know why I say that too? And maybe that's just me. That's me trying to make sure that people don't think I think that's why I do that. Because I know I don't think you stupid, but I'm saying it so that people don't think I'm talking down to you and nothing like that. And I don't want people to get comfortable.
I get that. Yeah. But that's fine because I think you know how I feel about you, and I won't give a whatever when I talk to you on here. People be like, you said that you mean to him, you cut him. I'm not giving you nothing, but I'm not. But you know, if you say, I need you to come up here right quick because I'm stranded, you already know what it is.
Right.
So, but I equate it with the time of the relationship and to say that you know better than to do that. And yes, you got a week off on suspension because you should know better. And somebody that didn't know me as long would have did the same thing, and it was some love there, I wouldn't have responded like that. You are absolutely correct.
So this is my issue with that. My issue with that is that sure enough, what you're saying is right. I do have more years in with you, whatever. But the thing that pisses me off is that when you were married, I immediately say, okay, she's more important. Like I'm ready to be like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to back off. If I know that, then they should know that. You know what I'm saying? Like who's more important, me or your wife? If it's me and her hanging on a life raft, you got to go and get your wife because that's your kids and that's your whatever. I know that. So then that should mean that she's held to a higher standard than me. She shouldn't be able to get away with shit that I couldn't get away with.
That's your. I mean, I get, but you're right. But that's just your opinion. You're right in to say that I gotta save her first.
Yeah.
But as far as saying that she should be held more accountable than you.
No. She should at least be held the same amount, I should say.
Well, yeah. Okay. I don't, you know, I mean, I wouldn't, you know, I can't go a week in house without speaking. I can't say get out because we live there. So I mean,
I know you're not gonna change. I know you're not gonna change the bar for me. I understand that completely. My point is that if it's not okay for they're people, it should not be okay for people to do that.
It's not okay for people to do that. But like I said, it's different people, different relationships. It's not black and white and practical. So you're right in saying that, but it's not black and white.
I understand that. What I'm trying to get to is that we're taught that we're not supposed to, like, shouldn't there be a consequence? There is a consequence. Obviously, there's a consequence, but shouldn't that consequence, like I think, look, they ultimately know. Like I asked you this question before. If you ever heard a woman who got out of a relationship or a marriage and she said, you know what, I really fucked that up. You said never, right? You said never. You said never, ever. Never. Michael Perkins. Never.
We looking at you like a bucket, man. You bugging, man.
You bugging.
I can go back and
I don't remember that.
I can go back. You know what I'm saying? I can get the actual clip. You know what I'm saying? But likely that doesn't happen. And you can tell it in the stats that, you know, women filing for divorces, you know what I'm saying, you know, 4 times as much as we are. But the problem I have is that they only are doing that because there is no consequence really. Because at the end of it, they're rewarded, incentivized, and their actions, bad or good, are facilitated. There is no real consequence for them. And it's not like in law, it says, hey, dude, we're going to fuck you and, you know, you're going to lose your kid. It's just the way that it's practiced.
So this is where I'm at, Michael Perkins. All right. This is where I'm at. It sounds as if this whole thing, which it is kind of a game. You know, it's leverage. I have this leverage, and even if I get left, I can still do this. I can still do that
in this culture.
In this culture, let's just say that in this culture. So, be as it may, I feel like if somebody is playing the game, which is all the stuff that you say all the time, all the stuff that you say, and I can choose to not play the game. I don't want to be lying. I don't want to be oh, I gotta, do this or not be vulnerable or try to act like this or act like that. If I feel like if I could just not play the game, does that ultimately take me out of the game and stop the game from being played? Or is this or what?
This is another thing. I'm gonna answer that question.
Okay.
This is also what you're doing. What you're doing is that you're assuming that there's not another culture to identify with.
Yeah, man. I wouldn't say that I'm acting like it's not another culture
or another pool to swim in that's not got sharks and stuff in it. Like that's because that's what I'm saying is that first you got to want to leave. You got to know that there's a problem. Then then you get to know that there's an alternative, but you got to want to leave. It got to be real for you. You got to actually want to leave. But and I'm gonna ask you a question. No, that doesn't take you out of the game, because if the person is playing the game,
it's the game.
It's the game.
It's
You know
the
what I'm
game.
saying? So it doesn't
It's the game.
doesn't change. And again, you're assuming that there's no other pool to swim in. Again, I just said two things that I really be looking for. Look, I'm not saying I ain't gonna never date no woman with no kids. If your relationship with your kid's father is moderately decent, you know what I'm saying? Whereas you are, and I've dated women who had decent relationships with their kid's father and had a relationship with their father. Like, you know what I'm saying? I date because I'm scanning for it. So then you talk to a woman 2 or 3 times and you hear her mention, oh, I'm dropping the kids off to their dad, whatever. And you just listen to her talk. Not like I'm sitting there, what's your relationship with your, nah. Or you hear them mention their dad and they say something nice about their dad, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, oh, my dad is this, he's that, he's this. It's like, you get to kind of vet for that stuff. And the more and more you know what to look for, the better, because then you don't have to play the game. Because you're in a different pool, or you're on a different court, or you're in a different sport, or whatever. But you have to even know that that's a problem to even say, nah, this is some bullshit. Because swimming with alligators and sharks is just not that, what I want the current. The current I'll deal with, but I'm not gonna deal with alligators and sharks. I can't get out of that shit.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you compare it to alligators and sharks.
Well, this is what I'll ask you. And this is not, and I'm not trying to be an asshole here. It's all until I thought what I think now, I didn't feel empowered to make a decision. Which one may say, well, what you think ain't got you in a relationship. You know what? It doesn't have me in a relationship now. But what I was thinking would have had me in a relationship and had me back where I started. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like if you go to the gym for 3 weeks and you stop eating bullshit for 3 weeks, it's like, well, you ain't lost no weight. Well, motherfucker, if I keep going, I know I'm going to get the right thing. I know I'm going to get the right thing because this is just the way to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's the way to do this thing is to vet for the stuff that I say and more, obviously. You know what I'm saying? It's the vet for the things that I'm talking about, and to divorce yourself from the other goofy shit, because what you're doing is that you're saying, I'm going to get abs, but I'm going to still drink fucking Hennessy with my chicken. That's what you're saying, but it's just like you don't think you're saying that, but you are. I'm gonna do the same thing and get the same outcome. And look, you're a practical person. I just think that for this one, there's an emotional part of it for you that you can't get past. And I got things like that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that with my kids. I'm like that with you.
And let me tell you this. Let's talk about the working out. Let me tell you this.
Go ahead.
Now, when I try to do something with my body as far as working out is concerned, some of the time I'm on my diet, I'm on my sleep, I'm on my working out, I'm just on my shit. Correct? And I guess at like now, I'm in very, very, very good shape right now. No, I'm not. What you laughing at?
Nah, I agree with you.
No. I'm in very, very.
And if anybody who's looking at this is following us, they see you with your shirt off like every other day. So that's why I'm laughing. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like,
relax.
You don't put a shirt on.
Relax. Yeah, relax. I put a shirt on some of the time when I go pick up the kids from school. But anyway, but I feel like as I deal with my working out, I'm a little cocky and have an ego as far as that is concerned too, because I feel that if I go hard in the gym, I'm going to still look good no matter what I eat, how I sleep, what I drink. Now, am I right? I'm a little right.
You are
I'm
right.
a little right
I'm gonna tell you why you're right.
Because I'm of the belief of I want it to be easier. And if I want it to be easier, that means that my diet has to be clean. That means that I have to drink water. That means that I have to get the proper sleep. That means that I have to do the proper things in the gym. But I'm still of the belief, as right now, as being in some of the best shape that I've ever been in, and I'm not doing the things that I don't get enough sleep. I don't eat enough. I don't.
Hennessy.
I haven't had anything to drink in a long time, but that's because of the other stuff. I don't want to mix not eating right and not sleeping with freaking Hennessy. But
crack and fentanyl.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. But I feel like even in working out, even in being practical, if I work hard, I can still get the results that I get now. I wouldn't tell no one else that because I don't believe that they want to work as hard as I work.
Right.
So I wouldn't tell anybody else that. But I believe I can do it.
The only difference with what you're saying with the workout is one on none.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right, and it doesn't have nothing to do with anybody else. Right. It just has something to do with me,
right?
And but just as you say that I'm arrogant in that sense, and ego, whatever, egotistical, confident, or whatever you may say, I feel like if I give my all and try my best and give everything that I have, I can. And I love somebody, I can make it work.
Well,
maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely wrong.
Okay.
You're really wrong.
I'm gonna get on out of here, then. I can't.
Yeah, you're wrong.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. But I'm telling you that and I'm probably wrong because in the working out sense, like you said, is one on none. And in this sense, it's dealing with something or somebody else. So maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am wrong. But I'm telling you that all across the board, when it comes to me, I haven't went hard. I haven't went as hard as I can go in anything and not been successful.
Well, you're like with the weights thing. It's like if with the weights, it would be working out. It'd be like if somebody was just locking up the weights every time. Like then you'd be like, I want it bad enough. I'll chew through this lock, and it's just like, okay, now it's the same thing. But it's like it's not the same thing if it's just you.
You say that, and of course, it's an answer to that. You know, you say if the weights is locked up, now what you gonna do? Well, I gotta do something. If I want this, then I have to do something. So if that's going somewhere else, if that's buying some weights, if that's just doing body weights, just doing push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, and dips, doing a prison workout, whatever I have to do to make it work, then that's what I'll do no matter what the obstacles are. I'm going to make the obstacles be, thank you. Thank you for the obstacle. I love it. That's going so I'm supposed to be over here.
Okay, again, it's still you can always break down that situation to one on none. It's never one on none when you're dealing in a relationship. So that's my point.
And you're right, but I'm just saying that I still think if I give
means I, it means
I.
It means you, like
but I'm just saying I don't. Maybe it's ego. But I don't know. I don't know how to look at that in a bad way to say I need to give my all for something to work.
That's not. You need to give your all for something to work for you. You need to give your all for something to work for you and another person that is equally supposed to be or not even maybe not even equally, but given enough to where it affects the quality of it. Mm-hmm. That's a little different because you're saying it as if, again, I gave the couch analogy. Two people can lift the couch up, you know what I'm saying, and make sure the couch gets up the stairs, but one person can't do it, you know what I'm saying, especially if the other person is nailing their side of the couch to the fucking floor. Mm-hmm. So you're not even equating what the other person is doing and how the culture works. They're not. It's like people who are part of Culture X are not really cultured to do that. Mm-hmm. They're cultured to where You're supposed to give your all, and then on the other side, that's not supposed to be happening. Because then you get these lies. You like again, you get the lying, you get the deceitfulness, the destructive behavior, the stuff that's just anti-relationship. Even you know what I'm saying? It's like having a conversation with a woman about like Instagram or anything like that. It's just like, well, I don't really date women that are on Instagram like that. Oh wow, what you insecure or something like that? Like no. I'm not insecure. It's just that if you are needing that kind of attention, then I don't really, I don't really like women who like that kind of attention. And it's just like, well, I mean, that sounds like your problem. I'm like, well, it is my problem if I'm with you, but it's not my problem if I'm not with you. If I'm not with you, then it's a non-problem. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's just like it's that simple, but we don't have people who recognize that on the front end. We have people who say, well, maybe she'll change in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month. And then we deal with it as opposed to saying, nah, I'm straight. And you can say, no, I'm straight because that happens. But, and this is another thing too, you and maybe me to a lesser extent, we get all the stuff on the front end. I get all the stuff on the front end. They act right on the front end. They give me 2 solid years of acting right. You know what I'm saying? I get 2 years of like, of I'm gonna do everything, in 2 years I'm stretching it, but you get my point. The front end stuff is wonderful. You know what I'm saying? And then that chip kicks in and they break bad. And the problem is that we're not vetting the right way to even vet for the stuff. Now, look, again, I don't ask questions. I just had a conversation, and then because I don't talk like that. I don't really talk all that much outside of here.
You don't.
Yeah, but I do a lot of listening, and when I'm listening to a woman and I'm hearing her say all of the red flags, I let it be. We're not even conditioned to even do that. We're not cultured to do that here.
You're and I get it, and it's tough when, like you said, when you are with someone, they don't do all of the stuff. They're not, going for the attention. They're not doing all of the selfie and all that stuff. It's tough to to always, what do you call it? Vet. What do you call it? Vet that stuff.
Did she ask a question?
No, she did not ask a question.
Okay,
if she
cool.
did, I would have let you know. But
and she's had a question mark there. I'm sorry,
man. So, but like you said, it's hard to vet when this stuff is going to be hidden until it's not hidden anymore, and until it's real emotions that's into the whole thing. I mean, I like I said, I'm a real person, and you are too, by the way. Not to say you're not a real person, but as much as I go hard, as much as I curse people out, as much as I'm tough, I love just as hard. Right. Everything is coming from hard work from me. It's gonna be 1,000%. That's who I am, no matter what it is.
Yeah,
and it's listening to you sometimes it's to my detriment. Maybe it's always to my detriment. I don't know, but I'll be detrimented and I'll be wrong until I'm right.
Yeah, but you're not. But I'm trying to be fair to you. You'll never be right.
And
for that particular thing, you'll never be right because. And I'm not saying you're not vetting. Not that you say, oh, she looks pretty and she got crack on her nose and nothing like that. But I'm saying that you're not. Like the couple of things that I said, I'm not saying you didn't know those, but I'm looking for those. I wonder if you are. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would be, of course, I have a laundry list of things that I look for.
Right.
So I am vetting also.
I would assume
it's just not as easy when people wait to reveal themselves.
2 years.
I'm just saying it's not easy because I am who I am. I am who I am. I work out, I go to work, I take care of my children. I don't like to be out. I don't drink or smoke that much. I read a lot of books.
You be smoking?
I don't smoke at all.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't smoke at all. I am really, really who I am. And which is crazy because being out in the world more and dealing with, the world more, I've learned that that's an anomaly also, to actually be who you are. I didn't know that until I was ingratiated more into the world and got to go into people's houses more and got to see things more, and to say, like, it's more of this, and was told to me, by a good friend of mine, like, dog, ain't nobody, everybody is
Everybody lying.
And I was just like, well, do you, I had to ask, you my man, do you think I be lying, or am I portraying something else? Like, no, like, he like law, like, you wear the same t-shirt all the time. You do the same stuff all the time. So obviously that's, you're not trying to, if I could afford what's an expensive t-shirt?
A Gucci t-shirt.
I could afford a Gucci t-shirt. I could afford a whatever, but
a polo. Like, this is Ralph Lauren with the little
yeah. I could afford the most expensive stuff and just act like I'm big ball. I could afford the stuff. But it ain't me.
Yeah,
it ain't who I am.
Yeah,
it's not me. So
but like, don't you? But like, and you just said something I think that's really important. And whoever your friend is, kudos to him. Don't you think then that it's like, okay, wouldn't you be bound to fail if that's the pool you're trying to pick from?
It's tough.
So that this is my thing. You're telling me all the things that I'm saying, and you're not disagreeing with me. You think that all the things that I'm saying, accurate enough, and you don't see the flaw in trying to go hard in this pool. That's just like that to me. Like, you're smarter than that.
Yeah, I'm saying that. I don't. Okay, you saying that I don't see the.
You don't see the flaw in going hard in this pool.
What I'm saying is that.
Like, even from
what I'm saying is that I don't. I wouldn't want to put anybody in the pool that hasn't shown me that they're in that pool.
Yeah,
I don't want to put somebody in the pool. I want them to. I want to have my own opportunity to mess up. I want to have my own opportunity to do wrong and do bad. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be like, oh, in my last relationship, this guy was like this, so you already 2 strikes in, or he did me like that, and this is how it was done last time, and you did the same thing. Like, I don't want to. I want my own set of strikes. I want my own clean slate, and since I want my own clean slate, I want to give, like I said, my whole thing is to treat people like I want to be treated.
Yeah, I want to treat people like I want to be treated as well.
Correct.
But the thing is,
because they could put me in a pool too.
But the thing of it is that I'm not saying, look, man, it's not saying that a person is a bad person because they're, like, for example, the Instagram thing. I'm never saying that a woman is a bad person. Mm-hmm. But the 2 or 3 women that I've dated, you know what I'm saying, after my marriage, and my ex-wife wasn't really on social media like that either. Mm-hmm. But it's like the women that I've dated after that, they weren't on social media. They just weren't like that. You know what I'm saying?
Excuse me. That need for attention is a different animal.
Yeah, and it is. But when I saw that the person wasn't, and I kind of put it together, it's like, I'm not, to me, when I didn't vet for that, like, are you on social media? But it was happenstance. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. It was kind of happenstance. So for me, it's just like, I'm not going to unfairly put somebody in that pool. I am going to give them the opportunity. But the thing is that there are precursors to the precursor for being in the pool. So, like, you may say, I need to see them do it, but it's just like, yeah, like, they kind of already doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, if you reveal that you got hoes as friends, I'm not saying that you a hoe. I'm just saying you hanging with hoes.
Well,
it's not really a good deal for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not putting you in the pool, but you're hanging around the pool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're a criminal, but you hang around niggas that steal. You know what I'm saying? It is tough, but for me,
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah,
because I can't disagree with you. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I what you're saying is correct. you know, you don't want them to have friends that such that will
and look,
encourage or that will promote BS.
Yeah, and look, never, never, never am I saying you can't do this thing, because I want to look. If you want to hold as friends, have 17.
Obviously,
you know what I'm saying?
You never say you can't do this thing. You're just saying if you're going to do it, it's going to be without me.
Period. Yeah.
I get it. I get
just
it.
like you got a choice, I got a choice.
I get it. And so,
but hold on. But the way that you're approaching it is as if, and this is the bottom line.
Okay, let's bottom line. Let's bar it.
This is the bar.
Let's bar it.
The bar is that your power of choice is your most powerful thing that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And when you act the way you act, or you do the things that you do,
mm-hmm.
you take that choice away.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not demonstrating that you have the power of choice. That's your most poignant power. That's the thing that you have, and you're taking it away by saying, I'm just gonna.
You're right. And I could say that I've intentionally done that. And it's a tough thing to say, to be vulnerable and to say, look, I'm going to do whatever I can do to make this work. It's a tough thing to be like, to give up that power. But I just think that to have that power and to play that game, then I'll be playing a game which I don't want to play. Now, but listen.
You go
listen.
ahead. I'm sorry.
Now, you know, like you said, is that gonna leave me jacked up and leave me wrong? Maybe I will lose 100 times or infinity. As you said, infinity. But and you said, well, you could do that. You could not play the game. You could be vulnerable. You could be open. You can love hard, just not with that pool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, if that's what it is, you know, I'm going to learn and I'm going to learn and I'm going to learn. But, you know,
we 40, dog.
I'm not, and I still don't know everything.
And I don't either, because but I am on the side. I am on the side of, and like, even with you saying I left, dude, you even with you saying I left.
I mean, I'm just saying.
You're right.
Yeah,
but
I ain't trying to. I'm just saying that if you know the statistics and you left, then you mean you put your kids at risk for the statistics. But I know that this is not ego. You know, it ain't about to be that. You know that what you're going to do is something different.
Right. Just
as I know. Look, I know the statistics, but call it ego. Call it what you want to call it. My children ain't about to be no statistic.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm only there 20% of the time. They're not about to be a statistic. Maybe that's my ego. But it's also I'm going to put in the work to whereas that's not the case. Even though it's 80% or whatever the number is. Is it ego? Is it wrong? I don't care what it is. But I'm saying not my children.
Yeah.
Not my children. And he could be like, you very naive. Well, I don't care, but not my children. They not about to be the statistics of broken household. They going to be the ones, the 2% or the 20% that still made greatness of themselves, even though their home was broken. And it could be naive. It could be, you know, whatever it could be. But I as I believe that, that's who I am. I believe stuff like that.
But again,
that's just me
saying that. I just believe, like, I don't like when people, like, I don't like when because I do think that that's a blind spot. That's a blind spot. Whereas it's like, you can't always transfer certain mindsets to everything. You know what I mean? Certain mindsets don't work.
You're
everything.
And you're absolutely correct. And maybe that's my problem.
Yeah,
maybe that's my problem, because I just feel like, you know, well, I'm gonna just work hard, and I haven't been proved that hard work doesn't work like I haven't been proven. Have I been wrong? Have I had messed up job? Have my kids, been through bad stuff? And have I been bad through bad relationships? Yes, but I still always come out on top.
But that's the thing too. It's like you're saying working hard, and it's not a work ethic thing in relationships. It's very much about understanding what we're here for. You know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree with you, but it has something to do with hard work.
Well, no. It has something to do with hard work, but it's like maybe this. If I need you, if we're playing basketball and you need me to do a certain thing, and I'm working on everything else, but then it doesn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like when you hear like this idea of like with women, you ask them, okay, cool, what kind of man do you want? You know what I'm saying? You want to be married? That's fine. Okay, you want this kind of man? Wonderful. What does he want? And they say everything but what that man would want. It's just like, yeah, you're gonna work hard, I guess, but you're gonna work hard at the things that this dude doesn't even require. So how you gonna get them? You know what I'm saying? And then you're in pool X, and then you're saying that too. So you're working hard at the thing that these people ain't even, they don't even need. And two, you're at a disadvantage because it doesn't promote healthy relationships. It just doesn't promote it. None of it. It is all what it is. And we see it time and time again. You got friends, I got friends. We got it. It's promoting the same thing. We're not stupid. Like, you're not stupid. I'm not stupid. We can see what's going on and what happens, and we're still bumping our head up against the same wall. No, it's because we refuse to say culture X is toxic and it's full of shit, and we need to just get away from it.
And I don't disagree with that. I guess would you? Okay, I'm not gonna go here, but I'm gonna go here. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go here, but I'm gonna go here.
Ouch. Why are you gonna do this to me on live?
No. It ain't as bad as you think.
Okay, go ahead.
Would you put mama in culture X?
Wow. I think that culture X.
Wait a minute. Now. Don't do that to me. I ask you a yes or no question.
How about this? I don't know mama as a woman. Mama's mama.
Okay.
So I
no is the answer?
I don't know, because I only know mama as a. I don't know mama as a.
You know mama as a woman. She's done she's done stuff. You know her as a woman. I know you know her as a woman because she's done women stuff that you told me that you particularly didn't like. Now, I don't want to put you on blast. Now, I told you I was going to be nice to you. Is mama in pool X?
Is mama in pool X?
Is mama in pool X?
Damn, man.
That's just the answer. That's just a question.
Damn, that's not fair. I mean, wow.
I'm gonna get on out of here.
This nigga is like, bold. We got the same.
I'm not bold. I'm just asking you a question. Is mama in pool X?
Yeah, I mean, I would guess so. I would guess. I would guess. I mean, I'm not saying, I mean, I would get, I mean, I don't, but that's the thing. It's like, you have to be able to end. No, I don't know her as a woman. You're
do
playing.
Know her. No, I'm not playing. No, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I'm not playing.
I don't know her as a woman.
That's not true, Michael.
No, that is true, because there's no context to what she does. There's no context. Look, dude, the times where she would have been like, even from a timeline standpoint, I'm not even being raised in the same, like, like if you put your hand down in water, you know what I'm saying, and then you lift your hand up and then you put I'm not even in the same, I don't have context to how she is and why she is what she is. I have no context to it. So no, I don't know her as a woman. I only know her as my mom. That's it.
You said yes. You said yes, by the way. I can rewind the tape.
Yeah,
You said yes.
Now I gotta fight mama.
You don't gotta fight mama. You said yes.
I had to fight daddy.
Well, you definitely don't gotta fight him because he gonna say yes too. But anyway, I asked that. The reason why that's the question is that, I mean, can you understand why that's my question?
No, I want to see where you're going.
Well, I say that because of, I guess I feel like as far as Pool X is concerned, mama is in it. As far as what you're talking about, mama is in it. That's what I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't, and it's different, of course, because it's a long tenure. It's been about 40 years that I've known mama. So it's a little different. But I wouldn't dismiss her because of, and not only has it been long, I'm not in a relationship with mama neither. Not in a romantic relationship with mama.
Which is more my point.
Yes, which is more your point. But I just feel like the dynamic of the relationship that I need to make it work. I feel like that she will be part of Culture X, and just the dynamic of the relationship, of it being a relationship, period. Not romantic, just a relationship.
Oh, you're saying as mama is a part of Culture X. Okay. I hear what you're saying now.
I feel like I am tasked with still making that mother-son relationship work. And you know.
Yeah, but like the thing is that it's like, I don't think that love has a lot to do, which is why I'm you know, as much as I try to be as practical as possible, like I try to play, like I try to shoot free throws like I'm up 20 points, because if I shoot them like I'm down, you know, 2 points and I need these two, you know, you know, the hind parts get, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I like to take the emotion out of it, because then it lends itself to a practical decision. I'm
not, I can't take the emotion out of it.
I'm not saying take the emotion out of it, because you can't, because you're a human. What I'm saying is that you kind of get to the right decision if you try to remove as much emotion as possible. Like, what makes practical sense in this situation? So try to extract as much emotion out of it as possible.
When you're dealing with humans and you're dealing with, you know, love, I can't just be practical about it. I can't. That's what makes me move different with everybody that I love.
Yeah, but what this is what I'm saying. You're thinking I'm saying like just extract it and just be a robot. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when you think of, like, again, like going back to the free throw analogy, like your arms and everything is going to be tight because the moment is the moment. But if you know how it feels to shoot free throws when you're up 20, you know what I'm saying? Then it kind of like, okay, cool. This is how I do it in the gym. This is how I do it.
But like I said, with all your analogies, like, some people relish that moment. Some people are like, I want to feel all of this.
Yeah. But the reason that works is because the moment is big, but you still have so many repetitions rather, that you can think practically about it. Because even Kobe was saying that. Like, Kobe was actually saying, you know why I don't have any, you know, it's not a big deal to me. It's because I've shot this shot 20,000 times. That's why the repetitions make me be practical about the situation. Now, I may miss, but at the same time, the reason I missed was not because the moment was too big. It was because, and I know the moment is big, I do want to win at the buzzer if I can. But if I don't have to and we're just up 30, well, then we just up 30. But this moment calls for my heroics, and this shot ain't nothing to me. I hit this shot in practice 20,000 times. I can do this. But the only reason I can do it is because I've removed in my head, I've removed the emotion from it in order to know that I've done all the practice. So now I got ice in my veins in that sense. Because he's removed the emotion.
But I disagree.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what he said.
But I've heard him speak also.
You go ahead.
So I would disagree with that. I would disagree in the fact of saying, like, he's saying that he is down 1 and it is his ball and it is 3 seconds and everybody does know they're going to me and outfilled the whole pressure of the whole building or the whole opponents booing me, and I relish that moment. I wanted to be just like that. I know that this shot counts and means something, but I want that feeling because that's the feeling that brings me that I want to rise to the occasion of.
But wouldn't you think this? When you think this, and I've heard this a lot. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, the things that you practice, of course, how you practice, how you play, but like a lot of the things, the moment makes it big, not the shot. Like the shot is really.
It's the same shot.
It's the same shot, but the moment makes it big. So what he was really articulating, at least from what I heard, is that if the shot is regular and the moment's just big, of course, give me the ball because then I get to be the man because I hit the shot. But if it's not and we up 20, I mean, I'm still gonna get the ball, but it's just less of a moment.
But that's what I'm saying. If they up 20, he's not in the game.
Well,
he's not even taking a shot.
Not up 20,
I'm just saying, if it doesn't matter, when it doesn't matter, I don't want the ball.
Well,
it don't matter. But when it's point game,
this is what I'm saying. If it was, and we're going too far in this, but even if it was a point where he had to be in the game, they're up 4 and they just need to hit their free throws. You know what I'm saying? Like we just need to hit their free throws.
That's still I want to close. I want to be the one that closed the game.
Of course, but what I'm saying is not as much as down to need these 2. And what I'm saying is that the removing when you're practicing, there is no emotion. It's just
correct.
So that's what I'm saying. You have to try to think about what like seeing people do. Like I'll give you an example. Seeing people do something and then seeing it work, not work, whatever. There's no emotion in that. I'm just observing. And then when I see them do that, I can go through my head and say what I would have did, what I wouldn't have did, whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's no emotion in that. You know what I mean? Unless it's you, but whatever. Like it's no emotion in that. But it's like if I can do that in my head, then when I come to the situation, granted, there will be some emotion, but at least I have enough information to say, okay, cool, I can do this or do that. Because the thing is that when you get to these relationships, you can be practical. You can. It would probably be best for you to be practical. But the thing that people are doing is that they're leaning too much on the love part and it's not allowing them to make their practical decision because they don't have enough information to make the practical decision. You know what I mean?
Okay. And I can't argue that, but that's what they are doing. That's what is happening. So I feel like it has to be paid attention to more. I can't argue that. That is what's happening, but that's why it needs to be paid attention to more because that's what's happening. That is what's happening.
It needs to be addressed more. This is also, I think I said this already, but I also need for the dudes who can't get out of that. I need them to be the dudes who do that. I also need that.
To do what?
Well, the dudes who can't divorce themselves from X, you know what I'm saying? I need them also to exist as well. Because it's easier for me to say, glad I didn't do that. If I see a dude get bitched out by his woman, or see a dude dealing with a woman who's cheating on him or lying to him or whatever, like, dude, it makes me be like, I'm glad I'm not in that. And not like, not like, girls like, I woke up this morning single, but I ain't getting cheated on. Not like that. You know what I'm saying? But I would like to know and reaffirm that I'm making the right decision by not dealing with that. Now it's easy. Look, man, also too, having a woman, you know what I'm saying, in some instances makes you feel like, okay, cool, I'm a man because you got a woman. You know what I mean? There's some emotion to that as well. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's validation. It's like if you're a dude and you talk like I talk, and then you say, well, you ain't got no woman. It's just like, well, yeah, I don't. But like, there's also a thing that you're missing it, that you're.
I would never say that. And if anybody would ever say that, I mean, obviously, it's a decision of yours.
Yeah.
But I would like to say, like you have hinted on, is that, you know, I wouldn't have a problem with getting whoever I want. I choose because I want something and I love something and I want something to work. That's what I choose because because it has to mean something to me. Because I don't, like you said, it's some people that stick around because they don't feel like they can get anybody.
Oh yeah, we were saying that.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, yeah, like
I know that's not you.
I mean, obviously that's not me. I wouldn't say obviously. Maybe I'm being a little bit what did you call it?
Yeah, I mean, but
with that being said, is that, you know, so in that sense, Michael Perkins, allow me to learn, allow me to be right or wrong, 100% wrong in your eyes, and allow me to grow. But acknowledge that it's a emotional side of things that doesn't make things so black and white. That's it.
But you're not. But
you never do that. You don't want to do it.
Because
you don't want to do it. You still don't want to do it.
Because this is what you keep doing.
I acknowledge it's your side. You don't want to acknowledge my
side.
Because
this is where you're wrong at. This is where you're absolutely wrong at. You can be single and then make a practical decision in, I'm not gonna choose these kind of women.
You can.
So then
okay,
that takes so then that, because most of the people or the people
but that's not what I'm talking about.
Even being in a relationship.
Okay.
Even in being in a relationship, if you deem it important enough to actually have a healthy relationship, then dude, if you don't leave, I'm fine with you saying that there's emotion tied to it. But if there's somebody out there who is not going to make that decision, then God bless. You know, great. You're not going to make the decision to leave, great. But if you're me and you do make the decision to say, nah, I'm not going to do it, then those dudes need to just speak louder. Because I think that what happens is that you, like you said, dudes don't see the other side of it. They don't see the other side. They don't see after you've left that, yeah, it's gonna be messed up a little bit. You know, I think, you know, it took me like 5 years to totally kind of rebound.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's life though. That's part of it, the emotional part of it. You know what I'm saying? But I can speak to that and say, look, this is what I did, this is what I did, this is what I did, and now I'm on this side of it, and now I'm not as emotionally attached, financially, you know, attached and beholden. And these are the things now that I'm able to do. Now I get to make whatever decision I want to make. I get to date how I want to date. You know what I'm saying? And I can say I've divorced myself from culture X. You know what I'm saying?
Took you 5 years?
I would say that.
Okay. Go ahead, man.
It's tough. It's tough. 5 years. I said that out loud. You trying to make your mom in Pool X.
Hey, man. Do what you need to do. Mama's in Pool X.
Yeah, you will.
I mean, in Pool X. Yeah. And I love her. And you know, maybe you need to, you know, I'm gonna let her know what you said about her. I'm gonna let you know let her know how you feel about her. But I love Mama.
You love her. You the one who said she in Pool X.
Hey, but I love her, and I'll never leave her.
I'm not either.
When the last time you talked to Mama?
Come on, I talked to her like a couple days ago.
Okay.
A couple days
you
ago.
Call her, she called you.
Yeah,
don't get
on
that.
What are you doing? Why are you acting like that?
I ain't like nothing. I ain't acting like nothing. You guys, you want to close us out?
In closing, I was right.
In closing, you have your analogies of what you think. My analogies are a little bit different. And maybe it's because I'm not where you are right now. Maybe it takes something for me to be where you are. I'm not there. I don't think gangrene. I don't think alligators. So you have to respect that as I respect where you are.
No. This is, you're saying respect where you are. Again, you're not thinking that the problem is as serious as it is.
No, but that's your opinion. Your opinion is that. Your opinion is gangrene and alligators. That's your opinion, and I
Okay.
respect that.
I don't even understand how you're saying that this is my opinion. The analogies are analogies. You don't think the problem is serious enough to say I'm going to get away from it.
Well, because because you think that is alligators and gangrene. You think chop off the arm, you can't swim faster than alligators and sharks. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. That's your opinion.
That's wild.
I'm just saying that's your opinion.
That's wild.
Why?
I have nothing to say about that.
Because it's your opinion.
Saying that it's my opinion. Just it negates everything that you're seeing with your eyes. You have eyes and you see the bullshit that be going on, and you're saying that my analogy is too far.
I'm saying your analogy is your opinion. That's what I'm saying.
My opinion that you don't disagree with.
I disagree with your analogy.
But you don't disagree. Hold on, but
I don't disagree with that the behavior exists. I don't disagree with that.
And this is the problem that I have. If you're gonna disagree with the analogy, but you don't disagree with the behaviors and the things that exist, then how don't you agree with the analogy? You don't, because you don't disagree that the behavior exists to the extent that I'm saying that it does. You don't disagree with the numbers. You don't disagree with the court stuff. You don't disagree with the family court. You don't disagree with none of the stuff that you've seen with your eyes. And yet and still, that's wild to me.
I'm just telling you. And like I said, I can hear you. I can, like I said, I can respect what you say. I can do all that, but I'm not there. And until you understand that, you will never be able to get me there because you don't understand that I'm not there. You just that's wild. I don't understand. Until you understand that, then you wouldn't be able to get me there. I understand what you're saying.
This is where I believe that I can just leave you to your own devices and you figure it out. Because the problem is that I'm having with you saying that is it's as if you don't see anything, and I don't think you don't see anything. That's one. Two, I also don't think that you're not going to get to that. Like, I have to leave you alone. I have to leave you alone on it. But I'm like, I don't think that you like. I would have to leave you alone if I found something and I was just like, yeah, I'm over here. I would have to leave you alone if you didn't believe that. I would be like, man, you my brother. I love you, but this is what this is crazy, and you're still indulging in this nonsense. I would have to, and not on some like I don't love you no more. Like we would hang, but it's just like I would have to just be like, dude, like again, another X another X. You know what I'm saying?
And that would have to be what it is, and I would have to just, like you said, it would just have to be. I would have to get to the point where I feel like it's alligators and sharks. I would have to get to that point.
And two, you're not even saying that. That's another thing too. You're saying alligators, and you're saying you don't think it's alligators and sharks, and you're just saying it's a current. But we did acknowledge that it's not one on none in respect of all the other examples that you gave, balance beam or whatever.
Correct.
That's the part where I say it's wild. Because
no.
That's the part where I say it's wild.
I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that. Makes it a little bit more, difficult than just being, saying that I'm going to turn it up. That makes it more difficult. I agree. I don't agree that it makes it impossible.
Yeah, well, we should probably have more conversations about the pool. Because
I mean, but again, I don't want to have conversations about the pool.
Exactly, and
I don't want to talk about the pool because it's just like I don't want to talk about anything that I don't want to. I don't want to talk about the pool.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about the pool.
That again, that's a problem.
Yeah, but
that's a problem. But and that will keep that's going to keep being a problem because it's like you want to fix the problem, but you don't want to diagnose the problem.
No, I don't. This problem, I don't want to dive into I want to fix a problem. I just
No. Fix it for you. Like, okay, cool. It's construction up there. You want to avoid the problem is what I'm saying. Not fix it, avoid it. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you keep going that way and you keep being 30 minutes late for work, it's kind of like,
but that's what I get your analogy, but just as you can make that analogy, I can make one too. Your analogy works for what you're saying. And I hope that they're good and they make sense, but they only make sense for what you're saying. And I'm not gonna argue them. Even when you say my analogy about hitting the wall and about the balance beam and about it's wrong because it's another person involved, I'm not even gonna argue that. I'm gonna say that makes sense. That does make sense. That does make sense. But I'm not the arguer. I'm just saying what I'm saying, and I can still say what I say and don't argue with you or disagree with what you say. Except your analogy is overboard. I'm looking on out here. You talk to the people.
All right, man. If you haven't already, I think I'll put it in the description. You know what I'm saying? We have all of the we don't ask for much. I think we had let me look at this. We're at 398 right now on YouTube. And if you could, 2 more, get us the 4. That would be appreciated. If you're looking at this on Facebook and you haven't subscribed to the YouTube, you playing yourself, you should do that. Let's see here. Yeah, all of the like Instagram and everything, it's in the description. And you should go over there. Definitely, it's him with his shirt off. A lot. If you like that, that's if you like that. If you don't like that, then don't subscribe to it. You know what I'm saying, matter of fact, like get.
I mean, count my packs. Count them.
If you like that kind of thing, that's you can go to that kind of thing. But yeah, just Instagram, definitely the YouTube, Facebook, all of the things. We on Twitter as well. Check us out there, and that's it. That's Mike and Vince Perkins, MVP, Opinions Are Like Podcasts. We're gonna get on out of here. Peace.